Pirate Simon's Island. This video is based on a children's book written by Lawson and illustrated by Annie Edwards. The video was animated and produced by Alan Tyrrell. For Lilliput, Emily and Roycicles, TL. For Rowan, AE. Pirate Simon was standing on the quayside, getting ready to set sail on a bright summer morning with one plan in mind: bury his treasure somewhere no one would ever find it. Of that, he was absolutely sure.
Avast ye, landlubbers. No one is going to get my gold.
Before he left, he tucked his treasure chest under his arm and waved goodbye to his family, standing at the water's edge. His wife smiled, and his children waved like it was an adventure.
Goodbye! Goodbye!
Goodbye, my lovelies. I will miss you.
He set off out towards the open sea. The world felt huge and empty. Simon liked that. He trusted no one with a secret like that. He didn't have a crew. Simon sailed alone. He searched for an island for days and weeks, somewhere distant, forgotten and difficult. But every place he landed had something wrong with it.
Feels like something's watching me.
By the time he'd circled half the world and was starting to feel like he might end up doing another lap, he spotted something strange on the horizon.
This is it. This is the spot. No one around for miles. Here I can hide the knot.
He used a small rowing boat and rowed to the shore of the island.
At last, I'd found an island to bury me gold.
Simon's Island. That's what I'll call it.
No one can find my treasure here. Nope.
Then he pulled a sheet of parchment from his bag, took out a fine feather quill, and began drawing. Land at Simon's Island at the southernmost tip. Step across seaweedy rocks, careful not to slip. Up and over stones where the waves crash hard enough to sweep you away. And X marks the spot, 3 feet deep, safe as can be. He rolled up his sleeves, grabbed his shovel and started digging. He didn't get far. A flutter of wings made him freeze. A parrot swooped down and perched on a twig just above the place Simon had chosen.
Look at him, all feathery and green. He's the shiftiest looking creature I've ever seen. If that shifty parrot can see where I've dug the hole, I'll have to find somewhere else to bury me gold.
Pirate Simon quickly swapped his hook for a trowel and started to refill the hole. He went to look for another secret spot on the island. As he went, he passed by a bed of quicksand and some very stinky plants, until he found a place where he could bury his gold. Then he snatched up his map again and began adding new directions. Head towards the quicksand, go around not too near. If you get too close, you'll disappear. Run past the stink plants and their stench. Slide down the east, then up west of the trench. An X marks the spot, 3 feet deep. Pirate Simon's treasure will safely keep. He marched to the new place, got his spade and dug again. This time, a ripple in the stream caught his eye. A fish surfaced with a swift little zag and zig, flashing silver as it turned. It wasn't just swimming, it was showing off.
Look at her, showing off her swiftness. She's the slyest looking creature I've ever witnessed. If that fish could see where I've dug the hole, I'll have to find somewhere else to bury me gold.
Suddenly, the hole filled with water and up popped the fish.
No, I'm not burying it here either.
He filled in the hole again and set off to search for another hiding place. He followed a stream and waded in. Along the way, he came across a swamp with some very strange-looking plants with teeth. Then he saw some very tall toadstools. He looked around, and they towered above him, making him feel very small. Pirate Simon stepped carefully, arms out, and reached the patch of drier ground beyond. where he found a new secret spot to bury his gold. He went back to his map. More lines, more twists. Follow the stream through every ebb and flow, past where pirate-eating plants grow. Step across the swamp on toadstools 10 feet tall. Only step on blue ones to avoid the 10 feet fall. And X marks the spot where 3 feet deep Pirate Simon's treasure will safely keep. As Pirate Simon held his spade and began to dig a new hole, a slow rustle came from the trees. A sloth crept into view, chewing on a fig like it had all the time in the world.
Look at him, covered in moss with flies on. He's the sneakiest looking creature I've ever laid my eyes on. If that sneaky sloth can see where I've dug the hole, I'll have to find somewhere else to bury me gold.
The sloth chewed, patient, unbothered, watching.
Oh no, not again.
Before setting off again, Pirate Simon filled in the hole. On his search, Pirate Simon came to a wide and deep hole where at the bottom a pool of lava bubbled.
Be careful here now, boy. Better watch your step.
He stopped at the edge and looked hard across to the other side. He grabbed hold of a vine and pulled himself across the lava. He struggled for a while and felt very hot. He clung onto the vines and made his way safely across the lava, landing on a rocky crop on the other side of the lava flow.
Oh well, onward and upward. Yeah.
He stopped because when he looked up, he didn't see a new part of the island at all. He saw his ship. He saw the southernmost tip.
Hey,
He turned in a slow circle,
what's going on?
his mouth slightly open.
What's happening? Hey?
The island had led him in a loop, or maybe he'd been so busy trying to outsmart everyone that he'd outsmarted himself. Although he was very tired, Pirate Simon looked at his map and thought he'd never find a place to hide his treasure. The map lay rolled and forgotten. The treasure stayed in the chest, but it didn't feel like the real treasure anymore. It reminded him of something else. The winding paths he used to take with his children through the woods near their home.
Why am I doing this? Why don't I take my treasure back? Back home for my wife, for my kids, and for me. And we'll all go out on a spending spree.
Simon's island was exactly what he'd wanted. Secret, distant, unknown. But it wasn't home. He pulled up the anchor and watched the island shrink behind him.
I'm going home to be with my real treasure.
My loving family.
Welcome home.
Pirate Simon. Yes, you are my real treasure.
This video is dedicated to Charlotte, Emily, Royce and Rowan. We do hope you enjoyed this story.